Joel McHale is
Hey,
on
Joel.
the phone.
Yes, I'd also like to talk about my mixed martial arts.
Joel, you're like you're a pretty you've become a very muscular man.
Buff. I've seen you
noticed.
working out.
Yes, you've become very buff. Are you a tough guy as well now?
Become a muscular man? How dare you? I've always hopefully been in shape.
Do you train or do you just do you just work out for aesthetics?
I'm an old man, and if I move too quickly, one of my joints will explode. So I do a lot of running and I do a lot of weightlifting to keep back being old. And if I did jujitsu, I would break very quickly.
Now, you did the White House Correspondents' Dinner in 2014. You were very funny. Michelle Wolf did it last year. Trump didn't show up for it. Do you think that that event is now not going to mean much anymore just because the president's not there for the next couple of years?
It does hurt it, I think, that the president is not showing up. No matter what your politics are, the last how many other presidents have participated, I think it shows real power and confidence that you can take a joke. And again, really, it doesn't matter where the president should be able to take a joke and tell jokes. And so I hope he shows up next year, but
he won't.
But there's no way.
No, he's going to hold a rally somewhere. He just won't do it.
He's going to do his military parade that day.
No, they canceled that.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I mean, I remember talking to reporters and from like Europe after that, and it was some guy from Romania, and I said, if I told these jokes about your leader, what would happen to me? And they laughed and said you'd be swinging a hammer in a labor camp for the rest of your life. And I was like, it just shows you how cool America can be, that you can make fun of the most powerful person on the planet. And
in the room with him.
Right.
In the room next to them without – it just shows incredible confidence. And, I don't want to get all preachy, but it really shows that we have freedom. And so when the president doesn't show up for that, again, I'm not being partisan. It just shows – I just think it shows that he might be a little bit scared of the jokes.
And let me ask you too. You're Caroline's 212-757-4100 tomorrow and Saturday. Oh, I'm thinking today's Wednesday. Okay, so just for the weekend, you're at Caroline's on Broadway.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You'll be there, right?
I will be. Yeah, I was going to ask if I can go up and do 25. I'm working on a half-hour Netflix special. How come Netflix canceled your show? I mean, I know it's a good show. It wasn't about that. Is it hard to do topical stuff on that platform?
Well, I think it's also yes. I think it's because again, I don't think they like my sweaters, but no. I mean, obviously, Netflix has trained their viewers to binge watch, and we actually tried that as well. But yeah, I mean, so far they have not. So far people aren't watching Netflix that way. I was hoping ours would be the first, but they gave me 19 shots, and I was very happy to do it, and because they are the king of the world right now. So believe me, I was very happy about the opportunity, but I would like to know if you guys have any jobs for me.
Well, it seems like you're always working. Like another thing. You have Caroline's this weekend. You have a movie coming out. You're in the Happy Time Murders movie. Do you do you kind of always like to have something going or multiple things going?
Yes, I'm a desperate workaholic, and I've always had. I've lived when I was 14. I was washing dishes and delivering newspapers and dealing cocaine. I just had a lot of jobs, and that's how I kind of always look at that. Being in our business, it's always hustling. So I don't ever want to have to get a real job. So my wife is like, "Can you slow down a little bit?" I'm like, "Yeah, just a second," and I'll be back in 2 days after I go to Biloxi, Mississippi, to do more comedy. So I always am kind of hustling to see what the next thing is. It will end my life. It will shorten my life, but I'll have fun doing it.
That's fine. You'll always work though, because you've already had shows that are proven successful with Community and with the Soup. Like you've had shit that worked for a long time. So if something doesn't go for as long as you want, you'll definitely get another shot. I think it hurts people more if this was their first shot and it didn't work.
Yeah, and I'm just hoping that Donald Glover will give me a job at some point since he's king of the world right now.
He is doing pretty well. Have you heard that song?
This is America?
Yes. Is that him?
Yes, I have. My kids are singing it now, and my 10 and 13-year-old, and they love it. I showed them the video, and I went, now, don't shoot the choir, but you see what Donald's doing here, kids? So,
does that blow your mind how, kind of successful he's been in now various different avenues? Like, it seems like genres, if you will. or did you?
I will not be. I'm now. I'm going to sound like one of those guys.
Yeah.
But that it wasn't. He was always so talented, and in between takes at Community, he would sit on his laptop. And he would just be out there kind of humming the beats and saying the line. You'd be like, what are you doing? And he'd be like, I'm just putting together some songs, and who would have thought it? And so then, when I saw him rap for the first time in New York, I went, oh my Lord. And it's the whole thing. And so he was always kind of on a different level than the rest of us.
Him and Chevy Chase?
Him and Chevy, they were on level. Yeah, I was going to say Ken Jeong just because I like to put his name out there and insult him. He didn't have a good week last week. No, but that Crazy Rich Asians made so much money. But it was one of those things where you're like, Donald, I can honestly say he's like the most talented person I'd ever kind of worked with, and I actively tried to stop him because I was so jealous.
I don't blame you, but that's one of those things where because he's a good rapper, it's a good story. But if he wasn't a good musician, that he used to write songs in between takes would be something you talked about because you hated him. And then he would sit there and write songs and would be like, "What the fuck are you doing?
What are you doing?"
But because he's good, it worked out. It's a great artist statement.
Well, then on top of that, you've got Atlanta, where he wrote all that.
And it's brilliant.
Then Deadpool, he was writing that and being the executive producer of the cartoon that FX was putting out. And then they said, oh, he's off. Then he tweeted out all the script pages, and they were hilarious. So I don't know how the guy has any time. I mean, I still go. I spend a lot of the time trying to figure out what kind of yogurt I'm going to have in the morning. So, the man is a machine. I don't know how. I just want to play Call of Duty for like an hour a week, and I can hardly find time to do that. So I don't know how he has time to write. And on top of that, he's Lando Calrissian. So I don't.
Right.
In hindsight, him leaving Community makes sense because he left before the show was over. But when he left, were there any of you guys on the staff or whatever, or in the cast going like, hey, he's got to be fucking crazy. This show is working. Like, he's not really leaving for anything in specific.
Right. It is one of those things. I mean, obviously, now hindsight being 20/20, you'd go like, well, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Of course, it was also after our fourth season that he left when we didn't have Dan Harmon, and that season definitely suffered for that, obviously. And so when you add that all up, you kind of go, it makes sense. I wanted the shit, and that we did get Dan back, but I think at that point the writing for him was already on the wall. And when you've got what he's got, and you've got the vision that he has, I think you're able to see a different perspective. Whereas I, was like, oh, if I do this many episodes, then I can buy this number of sweaters and a more expensive dog.
Well, it worked out because it was Donald Glover, but let's be honest, McLean Stevenson left MASH. That didn't exactly pan out nicely. So sometimes people make shit decisions too.
Well, McLean Stevenson's rap career didn't go the same direction.
No, he thought Hello Larry was really going to springboard him.
I wonder how many people listening right now know the McLean Stevenson.
2, you and Mike Vecchione.
That is a deep cut. I like it.
So is the silver lining to the Netflix show being done that you don't have to watch all the bad TV? While you're not doing a soup-type show, do you get to just ignore all the nonsense television that you normally have to cover?
It is, yes. It's a blessing and a curse because some of those shows are hard to get through. Definitely, I mean, God bless Andy Cohen and the empire he's built, but some of those Real Housewives shows make me want to pull my eyes out because I go, oh, I wonder if they're going to get drunk and fight in this episode. Oh, it happened again. I mean, some of the stuff that we found from around the world was really fun, and like what is it, Love Island, that show that's taking over all of Europe, or the Jersey Shore spinoffs, like Warsaw Shore. That is a real show, and Warsaw is nowhere near the shore. It's 100 miles away. So that sort of stuff I kind of took great glee in, but so no, now I can go back to my really getting through all my Dostoevsky books. That all right, I'm lying. I haven't read those yet, but yes, I would. I'm sure. Hopefully, there'll be another opportunity somewhere around to make fun of those again, but who knows?